What's going on, everyone? This is Sheets, and we're going to be doing a preview of the Scottish Open, and we're doing this a little bit early. Um, we don't really have the greatest of ownership projections yet, but we're doing okay. Um, so we're just going to go through, I guess, tier by tier and talk about, I guess, who projects well, and we can certainly talk about the I don't know the uh, the state of the slate because it's another example of where you have Scotty Scheffler who really stands out as far as projection goes, but he's 13,000. So what I feel is kind of worth doing is seeing what kind of builds you get without running sims, without using whatever, because that's probably going to indicate what ownership is going to be, because it's not so much like who the best play is, it's who you can kind of get in. um the one thing I will say though is that, I mean, as almost usual, I mean, I'm like well under on like all of these guys right now. So I have a feeling, I want to look at something real fast. I honestly think that I must have I must have some showdown projections maybe from last week of some of these guys, but I don't think so. Like I have, no, I mean I just have these guys just all lower. Like I've Scheffler, I have a full 10 points lower. No, so I have some guys higher. So I guess just Saber Sim is a lot more, you know, a lot more. I don't know, a lot more optimistic. So let's get into the slate. We'll pull up the um, DraftKings view, I guess, and then we'll just go through kind of tier by tier, and I'll let you guys know like who looks good in the projections. Okay, so that's a good place to start. So first of all, it is the Scottish Open, and I do have kind of a weird take about how you play something like this. I mean, you have this idea that the people that win these British Opens and the Scottish Opens are these big, fat, bearded British guys, or not even bearded, but like guys that like just trudge through the rain and and are really grumpy and curse a lot and have these ruddy faces and things like that. Like guys like Robert McIntyre and Shane Lowry and guys like that, and the like kind of the American looking guys, that kind of like flashy walk through the whatever, and those guys are not particularly suited for the Scottish Open type conditions and the whole Scottish Open vibe. So I feel as though those types of guys tend to get like a little bit under-owned, like those like American guys, and they're kind of the Britishy guys like Shane Lowry's and Robert McIntyre tend to get somewhat over-owned. So I can't really confirm that, but it really seems as though that should be the case. Um, Now on the other hand, though, I mean Scotty Scheffler just gets pretty much jammed every week. But at 13-1, I mean, the only way you'll be able to get them in is if there are like a lot of 5Ks, and it doesn't look that way. I mean, here they have the pricing structure is such that 6K is the low. So to get in a 13-1 golfer is going to be just very, very difficult. Okay, and that's just the bottom line here. When it comes to these guys, though, Scheffler and Rory and Schauffele, like the way I have them ranked, I mean, first of all, I do have them all. I have two of them ranked pretty well. I do have Scotty and Rory ranked pretty high. I don't really have Xander rated that high at all. So that is, I guess, somewhat interesting. So I would prefer to actually pay up for these two guys than to play Schauffele. That's just my initial look. As far as between these two, I mean, I guess you play Rory because he's cheaper, but let's just see what you could actually get in. I mean, I do like both those guys, obviously, but we're going to see what you could actually get in with Rory, because I only have Scotty projected at like 20-something% ownership. So I don't know exactly what we're going to end up getting. So hold on. While this is happening, I am getting kind of a projection update. Maybe I'll be able to help a little bit more. Okay, so let's actually do this. Let's while this is happening, I am going to update my projections here a little bit. Or maybe we'll just run a SaberSim build. We'll do both. I'll share my projections. I'll update them, and we'll run a SaberSim build. Just give me a minute here for me to update projections. Shouldn't take really too long. And then hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's do that, and then we'll look at it. Okay, let's take a look at the 9Ks, and there's a bunch of them. And as I mentioned, I think that somebody like Robert McIntyre is just going to be overowned just because of, again, this vibe of the Scottish golfers, and all this stuff, and the Irish golfers and the British golfers and all these guys just going to own this course. And even like someone like Tommy Fleetwood, you know what I mean? Like he's going to, first of all, he's been just so close every tournament, and he choked the last time, but people still love him, and he's British and all this stuff, and he keeps the ball low. They're just gonna play him, and I feel as though somebody like Sam Burns, Justin Thomas, or even Colin Morikawa. I mean, I think these are the guys that you're going to want to play. If you're gonna be concerned with ownership, okay, because I do think that those guys are going to be a little bit underowned. Let me take a look and see what my projections look like now. I'll share these with you, and they do have some ownership projections as well. And well, interestingly, I'm only seeing 23% ownership to Scotty. Let me see if this even adds. I don't even know if this is even going to add yet. Let's see. Yeah, they do. This is actually a full set, actually, of ownership projections now. And so I'm actually getting Rory as like the top owned guy, which is interesting. People are going to really want to save that 2,000 apparently. And we're going to get to some others in a minute, but like when you look at the 9Ks, I mean, I actually have Colin Morikawa as my top projected when you sort by Sheets value score. Really close to Fleetwood, but I have him at lower ownership. So if we're really trying to build like kind of a cool lineup here, and we don't want the full chalk, let's start with Colin Morikawa just for funsies, and then we'll just kind of proceed onward. How about something in the 8K range? Now, before I do that, let me see if this Thomas or Burns like looks decent, because again, these are the guys that again I kind of want to play, but it doesn't look like. Ooh, look at Justin Thomas with a 9,200, and they're really going to make him 14% owned. Man, that really stinks. I really didn't think that he was going to be so highly owned. So let's not use him. And Sam Burns, look at that. They really are going to play these guys. That's like very surprising to me. So I'm going to play one of them. I'm going to presume that these guys are not as owned as people think. So between Burns and JT, I'll pick one of them. So let's start with let's get rid of Scheffler, because what fun is that, right? And let's start with two guys I think are going to be a little bit lower owned. Just take that American kind of tact into the Scottish Open. I think that's going to be the theme here. All right, so let's go to the 8Ks lower here. Connors, Fitzpatrick, Straka. Now, again, let's think about thematically what we're looking for here. Like Adam Scott, you don't want to play, right? Seems way too Scottish Open-y. Even Connors, AJ. No, again, he's probably going to look really good. Yeah, I guess Connors you could play. I'm just trying to make sure that these guys, none of these guys would be too chalky. I don't think so. So I don't think you have to worry about it too much in the 8K. So if that's the case, let's take a look at the projections and see who looks good here. So Harry Hall looks to be, at least for me, the top of these guys, followed by Ryan Fox and JJ Spawn. So I think actually JJ Spawn is the type of guy. And then there's Connors, by the way, for you, AJ. So I think JJ Spawn might be the kind of guy that might get overlooked here. You know, doesn't feel like, you know, that Scottish Open type of dude, you know. So, but he projects well. So let's put him in. Let's pick one from the 8Ks. But as far as, again, the projections go, let's take a look. Hall. I mean, people are really going to play like a lot of Harry Hall at the Scottish Open for real. Ryan Fox. I mean, that might be a guy they'd play. But JJ Spawn, no way. Straka, they're going to play. Fitzpatrick, they're going to play, I think. So do you want to put in another one? You want to put in somebody like, maybe Ryan Fox. I have him at 10. Like, what does Ryan Fox's like profile look like? What does his game log look like here? New Zealand won the Canadian Open. You know what I mean? I just think he's going to get played a little bit. I Spawn just won too, but we'll put him in for now, and then we'll revisit it. But I like this type of idea. All right, let's go down now to the 7Ks. And this Bobby likes to do, we'll separate them 7,500s and up and 7,500s and down or whatever. And again, as far as guys I think could be popular, I mean, I don't think anything really stands out here. So we can sort of go with projections and projected ownership. So let's take a look and see. Let's look at the 8,500s. I mean, the 7,100s. Excuse me, 75 to 79. And the guy that I'm seeing really stand out over here in this range, this one guy, this Rasmus Norgaard Peterson. Like, if you look, and there's another Rasmus. How cool is that? And then the Højgaard. So you could have all three of these guys that kind of sound the same. You could have both Højgaards, two Rasmuses. They all project well. Rasmus Højgaard, 4% ownership. All right, that's the one we have to play, right? And Højgaard and Grazerman, like all these guys. So, like, if you went and played, who did I say was the top one? Peterson. You play one of those, and then believe me, there'll be plenty of 7Ks to choose from. So it's either Peterson or Højgaard or, right, Peterson, Højgaard, or maybe Grazerman, maybe, or Rasmus Højgaard. Rasmus Højgaard, 4%. I think people are really going to get these guys confused, by the way. All right, so here you have to go down to 6,900, so maybe we won't be able to get away with that. But let's, I am sorting by value score, Carmen. Peterson, okay. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at the whatchamacallit. What is this? So now we want to look at the 7,000 by, yeah, so I am sorting by value score here. You see this? Right by green. So now here's the deal. The 7,100 range, this could be an outlier, but Chris Gotterup is just projecting through the roof for me. I mean, he is clearly the top point per dollar play on the board. He looks like he's getting owned accordingly too. Like a full 17% at that price is pretty chalky. But I mean, but there are other guys like aside from Gotterup, there's Kevin Yu, Bud Cauley, Jake Knapp, even. And Jake Knapp is definitely the type of guy that you probably don't want to play at the Scottish Open because he just bombs the ball, whatever. And likewise, Keith Mitchell, who basically can't get out of his own way. But those are the guys that are end up going to be pretty low owned, right? I think at the end of the day, Goddard, people are going to see what I see with this projection. I think it might even be higher, the ownership. But like for now, if you want to take a lower owned guy, we'll take, say, Kevin Yu. Okay. So this is like, I'm not saying you have to play this exact lineup, right? But this is like the idea that this is like the idea of what you're supposed to play. Okay, I think. Okay. Now let me take a look at guys under 6,900 or under 7K and see if I'm getting any of them. I usually don't. And today is really no exception. Like I'm sorting my sheets value score, and it takes me all the way to the 47th guy, that being Sami Valinaki, for me to come up with anybody. But I mean, if you're gonna play Scotty, for example, then you're going to have to get down into this range, I think. So Sami Valinaki, Matty Schmidt, and none of them are projected with more than 5% ownership. So you could basically shuffle and play as many of those or as few of those as you guys want. Okay. So with that said, let's just go ahead into SaberSim and fire one up and see what we get here. So let's are we in the beta version? Yeah, we're in beta. So let's start a new build. Let's see. And let's just see what we got here. So this one actually doesn't have ownership. So it's going to be difficult to run sims, but we certainly can put our own ownership in here to at least give us an idea of what we're going to do. So let's do this. And you see, like, I think I just operated a different scale. Like, I have Scotty, like, at a 94 compared to 104 for SaberSim. So we're just going to have to see what we get here. Now, again, this is only Tuesday, I know, but a couple of things. Number one, I am going to be out tomorrow night and tomorrow during the day, I mean. So I'm not going to be able to do this. And the other thing, don't forget, it is a Thursday, like at the end of tomorrow night. That's when the slate starts. So it's Thursday midnight, Thursday time, right? You guys are very smart. You know what I'm saying, right? It's like 6 hours earlier than normal. It starts. I mean, it's possible. I mean, I'm gonna be somewhere where I could maybe fire up like a late stream tomorrow night, where I do another live lineup build or something like that, when I have the ownerships a little bit tighter. But like right now, let's say we wanted to play 150 lineups, for example. Oops. What I'd end up getting, wow, interestingly, would be all the Sam Burns. Oh, and the aforementioned Harry Hall. How about that? That's pretty cool. Now, it's being ranked by SaberScore, which means it is taken into account ownership. So this is actually pretty neat. Like, where's the Scotty Scheffler? Am I getting none of him? I mean, that's certainly, like they let the kids say, a choice, right? But look at this, 0 of any of these guys. Now, I don't know, once we like tighten up our ownership and tighten up everything, you know, what it's going to look like. But I do think this is very telling. I do think this is very telling that the optimal type builds are not spending up. So we shall see what ends up happening. I have to say that's pretty much all I have for you guys as kind of an early look here. You know, just I will tighten up the projections at some point tomorrow. I might do a late lineup build tomorrow night. I'll certainly do something with the showdown slate when I figure that out. I'll put that up tomorrow night. But I think this is going to be it. It's going to be a tough slate. I mean, listen, as long as you can live with not playing Scotty, I mean, it's an easy slate. But, you know, he's probably the big favorite to win. So We'll see. That is going to do it, everybody.